Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things anime uncensored, and we are your hosts. I'm David. We got Jerry. We got Kenny. And today is an episode I'm sure you all have been waiting for the whole season on. This is the season wrap-up episode. So we're just going to get all of the, spoiler warnings out now. We are going to be talking about a lot of the animes that we've been watching. Basically, the 13 anime that we talked about in a previous episode, where we talked about the first episodes of them. We're going to be giving our thoughts. We also have some news to go over. So it's going to be a big episode, so let's just hop right into it. So, Jerry, you want to start off with our first bit of news?
Sure.
Or just,
wink,
talk.
Nudge.
Just talk.
No, okay, so, hello everyone, welcome back. You know the drill. Yeah, today we're going to be doing the thing where we go back over some of the shows that all of us actually watched, because at the beginning of each season, we love to try everything, but I would say that for me at least, I don't usually make it to the end with a lot of shows, but as of today, a lot of shows started to wrap up their seasons. Some are still going, but we're going to just talk about all of those seasonal shows. Before that, we got to get into some news. First piece of news. We talked about last week that Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin was recently canceled from Weekly Shonen Jump. Pour one out for Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin. The favorite of the podcast, I never read it, but YouTube boys seem to enjoy mostly what you had read. And seemed to be our favorite of the comedies that was out right now, but it passed on. But this week they announced I Tell C has also been canceled, and that means they're replacing it as well. So this week, to replace Hard Boiled Cop and Dolphin, a new series called Red Hood debuted, and next week a series called Nehru, I believe it's called, will debut. So prior to what it'll come out after this episode comes out, or it should, so it won't be available yet. But Red Hood is already available, and I read it. I read the first chapter, and
did you like it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You guys haven't read it yet?
Nope.
I started reading it, and I stopped reading it.
Wait, why? Did you get bored?
Yeah.
Whoa. I loved it. I don't know. It's not special, I guess. But it's hard to tell from one chapter of a manga that,
yeah.
I would say, I mean, it's hard to, go back and think, okay, if only Naruto chapter 1 was out, how would I feel about Naruto,
Right.
I feel like you won't really get a good feeling for a series until about 2 to 3 volumes worth, which honestly in Shonen Jump, a lot of series don't even make it that far.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to even kind of plan that. But for Red Hood, the general plot synopsis is that it's a world where mythological creatures are real, and they wreak havoc and do damage to different towns and cities around. And these people called the Red Hoods, they are paid exterminators of mythological creatures, essentially. And the story centers around our two characters named Grimm, who is a trained Red Hood, and I think his name was Vanyu or something, Vinu, something like that. And he is a young boy in a small hamlet, which is like a small town, a small hamlet, that is being ravaged by werewolves. And Grimm and Vanyu or Vanu, whatever, I'll have to look up the name. It's something like that. They team up to fight off a werewolf, and Grimm thinks that Vanyu is going to be a good potential Red Hood for the organization. That's kind of how the first chapter goes. That's kind of spoilers, but not really. It's the first chapter.
Yeah.
So go check it out. If that sounds interesting to you, you might really dig it. The artwork is kind of my favorite part about it. I think the art was really, really pretty. So I don't know. I who knows with these, you can't really get invested in a Shonen Jump title,
Yeah.
I don't know. Kenny, you know better. You've been reading Shonen Jump titles as they get canceled left and right.
I like some of them too.
Some of the ones that get canceled, I feel like have promise. That's for sure.
But sometimes authors return, It's one of those things where it's like, maybe not this one.
Yeah.
But maybe the next one will be it.
Right.
And I know that what was it? The Nisekoi, I want to say the author for Nisekoi released a couple one-shots that did not make it, and I really enjoyed one of them, and then he came back to Nisekoi.
Well, you got to remember, My Hero's author, Kohei Horikoshi, he had 2 serializations, full-blown, not just one-shots, full-blown serializations got canceled twice before landing on My Hero Academia. So that's pretty intense to think that you got serialized, went through the trouble, started a story, made it 5 or 6 months in, then got fired, and then came back, got a second story, made it 5 or 6 months in, and got fired again. Like, I just don't even know what sort of like mental toll that would take on someone. But eventually, you land it and you get it right, and you get in the magazine and you find your right footing. So maybe Red Hood isn't going to be this author's only attempt, or maybe Red Hood will last for a long time. That's something we don't really, there's no way to know. It could go any way.
I wish there was like a guaranteed like at least like a set amount of chapters, and if it wasn't good at that point, then then they would like just end it, or at least like do like maybe like another 5 chapters to wrap up the story. But because some of these are like getting axed at what, like 15, 16, 17 chapters, like before anything even happens. Like not even like 2 volumes worth of content.
Right. It's weird because like they're set up like they're going to be long running stories. They're not made to be short form stories.
Yeah.
So it's like you get 2 volumes in, which was really where maybe first series like Black Clover or Naruto, that's where things start to pick up. But for a series that gets canceled, it's like, oh, they're finally ramping up. And Shueisha's like, axe it. You get 1 chapter and you're done, Right. So it really sucks for your series because it just kind of gets chopped.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to cut it. If you knew, like, from the get-go. Like, think about Chainsaw Man, right? Like, he knew from the get-go he wanted to, like, less than 100 chapters, I think. And so that allowed him to kind of work within his means to create a really cool story. And because it did really well, lucky him. But...
Yeah, I'm loving Candy Flurry, but I think I might also get axed soon because they kind of unveiled like the main villain already, and that's kind of not really a good sign. I mean, it's not even. I think chapter 10 just came out, so it's like
Tanjiro fucks with Kibutsuji Muzan very early, so
that's true.
I mean, and it got canceled technically.
Well,
it lasts for like 200 plus chapters though, so
yeah. So here's the thing, I don't know. So I don't know if listeners know this or not, but there are really 2 things that can impact a series' longevity in Weekly Shonen Jump. There's kind of 2 major things that they look at, and that's that every week Shonen Jump runs like an internal, what would you call it? Like an internal survey to rank the popularity of each series each week. So if it has a really good chapter, a lot of readers in Japan might mark and say that's the one they want this week, yada, yada, yada. And if you do really well in these weekly surveys, your series definitely has a bigger chance of lasting longer. And the way that we as readers know how well a series is doing is by their placement in the weekly magazine. So if the series is like right when you flip open the book, if that's the series you see, that's one of the top series. And if they're in the back of the book, that means that they didn't do well in the weekly surveys, which is certainly not great because if you're in the back of the book, you might have less people reading to the end, finding your series anyway. So it's kind of like a cycle where it's like if you start doing poorly, your stuff ends up in the back, and then it's like easier to keep doing poorly. And then you end up getting axed, which Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin, I didn't realize this, but after Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin got canned, I started looking at all the data. And I was kind of curious, like where it had been ranking. It had been ranking in the bottom 3 for months and months and months. So that's an easy way to get your series cut. Even if you're doing well elsewhere, Shueisha really focuses on those surveys, which sucks because in the U.S. the series might be doing way better, or whatever it might be. It's really those Japanese surveys that they're actually putting in the Shonen Jump volumes that you would want to actually have your series do better in. So that's why when I think about Candy Flurry, so the last, I think, 3 chapters have all been in like the bottom 2 for Candy Flurry.
Bottom 2?
It's like bottom 1 or 2. It's like either last or second to last, something like that. And the only other series that's like also doing just as bad is Nine Dragons Ball Parade. So unless those series start to kind of flip it around and make some progress, I'd say they usually give a series 20 chapters of a grace period. I think whether your shit's doing bad or not, if in 20 chapters you can bounce into the top a little bit, then you've got a good chance of sticking around a little bit past that. But like ITLC is a great example of a series that literally, after getting into the rankings, because I think the first like 6 or 7 weeks, you're not actually ranked, and then after that you start to get ranked, something like that. So once getting into the rankings, like I tell C, it was like always in the bottom 3 every single week after the rankings. So it did that for 3 months straight, and so it got canceled. And so I think if Candy Flurry and Nine Dragons Ball Parade don't start turning it around in the next month or two, we might see another axing of the series. But as of right now, I haven't heard any rumors that a new series is getting announced. So maybe that's a good sign, at least for Nine Dragons Ball Parade, because Nine Dragons Ball just made it to chapter 20, I believe, or 19, something like that. So I think it's going to make it a little further than others. But Candy Flurry, I would be worried about. On the flip side, Elusive Samurai and Blue Box have been they've been swinging above their weight. So on weeks where like One Piece is out, they can sometimes land. I was seeing both of them land in the top 5 on weeks where One Piece is out. Wow. And so like that's pretty intense for a new series. So Blue Box and Elusive Samurai are getting really good reception from Japanese audiences, as well as Sakamoto Days. I saw was easily getting into the top couple series most weeks.
I like Sakamoto Days.
I've only heard good things about Sakamoto Days, so I'm not surprised.
I still read that one. So
really, the only thing that can save a manga if it's doing poorly that way is like really, really good volume sales.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty rare that that's the case. I have also, and I'm going to put this on everyone listening's radar. Undead Unluck. Okay. Popular shonen series for the most part. Finally getting an English printing. Just recently, I actually own volumes 1 and 2 myself. When I was looking at all the data, because I was just curious about everything else, I noticed Undead Unluck has been doing very poorly in the weekly rankings. Very, very poorly. So I'm curious what that means for Undead Unluck, because it does suck right now because Jump actually has an elite. There is an elite pantheon right now in Jump that people don't really talk about, but it's pretty straightforward. It's One Piece, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Dr. Stone, and Jujutsu Kaisen. And those 5 series almost never leave the top 5 spots in the weekly ranking. So that really kind of sets the rest of the series up to be competing to try to dethrone one of those series. And that's why it's lucky that One Piece take a break every 3 weeks.
And Jujutsu's on hiatus.
And Jujutsu just went on hiatus, so there's an opportunity there. And I think that's why Blue Box and Elusive Samurai are performing above their weight class, because of the fact that Jujutsu and One Piece, swing in and out. So because of that, they're performing a little bit better, as we sort of see. And I think it's gonna help out these new series a lot. But also, it's just I'm curious what it's gonna do, because there's like Mission Yozakura Family is like a really standard, like it never drops super low, it never goes really high. It's one of those ones that might just continue on for a long time, just in the middle, Same thing with Mashal. Mashal's one that I only looked at like since 2021 started, so only the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's like Mashal is consistently like right in the center. Yozakura Family right in the center. Those 2 series are both pretty high number counts. They're probably going to just keep going until who knows when. But we won't get too deep into the Jump lingo. If you guys are curious, if any of the listeners are curious, go check out the weekly Shonen Jump rankings. You can find them on Reddit. I think there's even like a subreddit called like Manga Rankings, where someone will post them every week. So if that's something you're interested in, go check out how they rank the series each week. It might give you some insight into what series might get canceled and what might not, so you know what to invest your time into or not. Because in reality, it really sucks to read 20 chapters of something to just get like a cancellation, So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
So any more news? Kenny, you want to go with your news? Or...
That's all I had.
Yeah, let's go with my news. This week I watched a new show. It's an oldie, but it's coming out with a season 2 next month. So I watched Vampire Night
God
this weekend.
damn it! Stop! No!
I thought he was going to
It's
say
too early!
Vampire Night. The Vampire Night podcast, where all we do is we love Vampire Night. I'll see you guys next week on the Vampire Night podcast.
Oh my god.
14 minutes and 50 seconds, by the way.
Dang, you just gave them the timestamp.
Well, I mean, if they're here, they're here.
If you're here, make sure you timestamp it in the comments down below. Yeah. Kenny has dropped Vampire Night only 14 minutes in. Who knows? This could be a double Vampire Night episode, which Kenny sometimes graces us with.
It could be a triple. It could be a quadruple. Who knows?
Kenny, no.
It's just the
Kenny.
one. Just the one.
Always
Just the one. Just the one this week.
Whatever, but yeah, Kenny, do you want to tell about the actual or what you
Yeah, I watched
those are the
Miss
actual.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid this week. I loved it. It was great. It was not just dragons with big titties. It's much more than that. It was really good. And I liked it a lot. That's what I have to say about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I'm
Right,
excited.
right in time for season 2.
Right, there's some news associated with it, though, Ken.
Oh,
Which
season
is-
2 comes out next season.
Yeah, it's summer season, right?
Summer, yeah. It's coming out.
Yeah.
We've got a handful of shows to watch as well that are brand new.
Yes,
That will
and
be
we'll be
coming.
talking about those.
That will be coming soon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
But
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is also starting in that same time period. And for me, I love it. My favorite relationship in that show is Fafnir and Takia. They're my favorite. So yeah, leave your favorite couple in the comments down below.
July 7th.
You know what I found out about the author of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid?
What, bro?
What?
They have just written like a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So I only remember I found this out because I was looking at the new Mappa anime called Idaten Deities, something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Idaten something.
On this young generation,
Yeah, something like that.
Idaten deities in the peaceful generation.
Yeah. So the author of Kobayashi Dragon Maid is the name of the author is Cool Kyosinja, which I don't know if that's like a pin name or what.
Right.
But they have a couple different series that are actually pretty popular. One being Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid, another being a series called I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying, which got an anime adaptation. And then another series called Komori-san Can't Decline. Sounds a lot like Komi-san Can't Communicate, but Komori-san Can't Decline. And they actually have 2 new mangas or they're old mangas, 2 new series that are coming out in summer called Peach Boy Riverside and the Idaten Deities Know Only Peace. Both of which have anime coming out next season. And I think we're probably going to watch both of them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So that's all Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid author, Cool Kyosinja. And they've written a ton of other manga. They've been serialized a ton of times. And yeah, I mean, to already have 5 anime adaptations under your belt just seems like a lot to me.
And a lot that I feel like are popular. Like,
yeah, at the very least, Dragon Maid and I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying are both anime that I've heard of. And Komori-san Can't Decline, I didn't really know much about it, but it's cool that it got an anime adaptation. And then now to have 2 coming out that are both looking nice, including one by freaking Mappa, is like, it's kind of a big deal in my mind. But yeah, they've done
One by
pretty well.
Mappa, one by Kyoto Animation, yeah.
And I just
I
can't
actually,
figure out like what they look like. I can't find the author anywhere. So it almost makes me wonder if it's a group of people and they just don't announce that. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I remember I've seen this show. I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying, and the style of characterization in the main guy is similar to the style of characterization in another character in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. So I would not doubt if it's the same author.
That's true, and it might be, but it just would be interesting to me if it's like Clamp, like the author Clamp.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
technically like a group of people.
Yeah.
Yuta Tamago, the author of Kinnikuman's also like a group. It's like 2 people, I think.
Oh.
So it's pretty common in Japan, especially when you hear a name like Kulkyo Shinja, for that to be like a code name for like 1 or maybe like 2 or 3 people, who are writing. Because maybe it's like the same author and artist. Maybe they work together as a team. I don't know. It just sounds like a name that's like pushed together like that. Yeah, very interesting, and still kind of news because they have 3 anime adaptations airing in the summer. That seems like a lot to me, right?
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Dragon Maid Season 2, Peach Boy Riverside, and Idaten Deities are all airing in the summer, and it's all from the same author. And I'm like, that just seems pretty awesome for the author, at least. That's definitely probably a really big thumbs up to them. So,
Yeah.
All right, David, did you have some news?
I did have some news. So there,
Nope. Canceled.
what?
No news.
So there was
No news.
an announcement recently related to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And apparently, Warner Brothers Japan, so there is an Anime Expo Light that's happening, I believe, I don't know when exactly. I think it's this upcoming weekend. And so on July 3rd, there's going to be some announcements that involve Record of Ragnarok and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Record of Ragnarok?
Yeah, just randomly Record of Ragnarok.
Oh.
Yep, so they're going to be talking about Record of Ragnarok. I don't know what exactly regarding that show. And they haven't unveiled exactly what they're talking about with JoJo's, but the rumor is speculating that they're going to be talking about some Part 6 news. So
yeah, I hope it's a release date at least.
Yeah, so if that's the case, we could be getting a release date, which would be really awesome.
Hear me out. What if they just dropped episode 1?
Didn't they kind of do some shit like that with the last season?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Or like at a con or something, they were like, surprised
like,
we actually
here's episode 1 and we're starting right now. Like
yes,
they were like, the next episode comes out.
I remember that. With Part 5, I'm pretty sure that's what they did.
Yep.
If they did it with Part 6. But this Anime Expo Lights 2021, is that a big con? I'm not familiar with that.
Whack that dude with the shovel and...
David, Anime Expo is the biggest anime convention in the nation.
Anime Expo Light, though? It's the
light
version.
Well, I think it's just
it's at home.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's their virtual. It's Anime Expo, but it's virtual.
Oh, it's a digital version of anime. Oh, the largest celebration of Japanese pop culture in North America.
Yeah.
Yep. I was like, yeah. So it is a big deal. This is
okay. So this is a big deal then. Yeah.
Stuff happens at Anime Expo every year. Stuff happens at Anime Expo every year.
And the way that thing Araki said was translated weird. Remember?
What was it? Last year or this year?
This year whenever season 6 got announced, he said that.
Oh, during the announcement,
he made it seem like they were already finished.
Yeah, I remember that, Kenny.
He made it seem like they were, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do like a theater release or some bullshit."
Yeah, and people were very confused. I am curious. It would be nice if the whole show starts coming out. I mean, that's next week or something, right?
That's
an opening song, bro.
The third is Saturday, so this Saturday. And if you go to Anime Expo's like website and you can look at their whole schedule, where is it? I just looked at it. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Anime Expo Light 2021 special program. Stone Ocean, the new series. Okay, so it is about Part 6.
Oh, it's explicitly about Part 6.
Yeah, so we would like to show you behind the scenes clips that were only shown at selected events. Watch the producer and editor go deep inside David Production studio behind the masterpiece, and also find out how the past series were made firsthand from the creative staffs. So it seems it's like a more from like the creative aspect of JoJo's, from like the animators and stuff. But wait, and it also says make sure to keep watching until the very end.
I'm joking. Okay. What did you say about Record of Ragnarok though? What's that announcement going to be? I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I don't see anything about Record of Ragnarok.
Honestly, this first bit of news that I got about JoJo's was from this random YouTuber video, and he said it, so I just repeated him. But he could be.
We're a random YouTuber video.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the random YouTuber
video. Yeah, welcome to the random YouTuber podcast.
They're talking about Record of Ragnarok.
We're getting meta. We're getting a little meta. But
we're hanging out and just getting a little meta. Well, there was another anime that announced some upcoming news.
Was
there, Jerry?
What was it called?
Oh, is it called?
No, wait. No, not that one.
No. You're talking about Vinland Saga, right?
Oh, yeah, I am. There you go, dude. Okay, yeah, that one.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the other one.
No, Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga announced that they were going to make an announcement, I believe, next week.
Oh, that's cool.
And I've also, the author of Vinland Saga has already said that he's in the final arc of the manga.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He's
but
in the end. Well,
he's monthly, so it's going to take him a little bit to finish. I think I read that he said he'll be finishing in the next few years, but he doesn't have a ton of chapters left. So
right, maybe 10, 15
super
more.
exciting.
Yeah.
Right, so it's going to take a year or 2 or 3 or whatever, just because they only do 12 chapters a week or a year. Only 12 chapters a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's happening. But then there was some news that they're going to be announcing something. We don't know what they're announcing yet. But the rumor around town is hopefully it's a season 2 announcement. And I hope so.
It should be. I mean,
what else they gonna announce, right?
They already at the end of season 1 they had the animation of
Right.
come back from the next arc, like it was already a foregone conclusion.
See, and that's how I felt about it too. So I'm surprised it's taken this long because
It was originally
2019 or something.
It was originally supposed to be January this year. I think it was already supposed to be out.
I remember that, but
yeah,
I was like, I can't remember why. Like, I don't know. I don't remember what happened. I assume COVID happened, but
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird that we still don't have like really any information about it if it was supposed to already be out by now.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of freaking me out, I guess.
And that announcement's going to be on July 26th, by the way.
The Vinland one?
The Vinland Saga announcement.
Oh.
So
I would not be surprised it's coming in the next season. Not summer,
4 or
but
5 weeks.
for fall.
Maybe like winter.
You think by the end of the year? Dude, if it comes up if we have Chainsaw Man, Vinland Saga, Demon Slayer, if all the shit decides to air like back with JoJo's, we'll be stuffed, guys. We will have such a tough. It'll be tough even keeping up.
It's
dude.
going to
Or
be
new
so
anime,
much
too.
good. Wait, speaking of Chainsaw Man, we got to talk about that trailer.
Chainsaw Man, what?
What are you talking about?
What's
Didn't
Chainsaw
y'all
Man?
hear it only just
What's
destroyed,
Chainsaw
it
Man?
just destroyed the internet.
Who's Dingy? No, I'm just did it destroy the internet? I have not seen it.
It blew up. So for those of you that are listening, you might have heard us talk about a show called Chainsaw Man. And if you haven't ever heard of Chainsaw Man, if this is your first time ever hearing about it, you need to purchase a membership to the Viz Media app and read all of Chainsaw Man. And then B, you need to watch the trailer and get hype when it comes out later this year, when the anime comes out later this year.
Yep.
And honestly, that trailer exceeded all my expectations. I kind of had not like high expectations. I mean, kind of like medium, I guess, like mid-level. But watching that, I proceeded to watch it 60 more times. I watched it 10 times this morning. The whole trailer is the whole trailer is like a minute long. It's super short. But even from all the snippets, I know exactly what each of the scenes are from in the story.
Man, I'm tired tonight, boys. I don't know why.
Oh, is Chainsaw Man boring you, Jerry? Are you?
No, I'm just filming a little later today, bro.
It's just late. It's late.
It's late.
But I agree with you, David. I already watched a guy who did he already went through and found all the manga panels and put them next to it on YouTube. So I don't know if you guys watched that, but
that's cool.
It's all it's all everything in the trailer is just ripped right out of the manga so perfectly. You can just tell that whoever the director is of this series, I don't know. It's like when I watched the Shaman King trailer, I immediately was like, oh, we're fucked. But then it's like you watch something like this, and it's like, oh, we're saved. It's like there's no more time to worry.
Especially there's so much cool shit that does not get covered in that trailer. And so it's
that
we
haven't seen spoilers for Chainsaw Man, but we didn't get to see, the what's her name? The Bomb Devil isn't in the trailer at all.
Reze?
Reze?
No Bomb Devil, no Katana Devil.
No Katana Devil. We didn't get to see the Katana
obviously,
Devil.
we didn't see Hell. But we haven't seen.
No, we did not.
We didn't see what's the Sheishi or Kishi? I can't pronounce the name.
The Gun Devil fully realized.
Yeah, Gun Devil.
Well, they're gonna save that for a big reveal, I think.
That scene is one that I'm that
you do briefly see freaking.
That was 5 chapters.
The scene of Aki's house being while he's standing there is briefly in the trailer, and I was like, bro, ice on that.
It's so good. It looks so.
I'm calling it right now. I want to make a prediction right here on the podcast. The master guy, what's his name?
Their trainer, their mentor.
He wears a trench coat.
Oh,
yeah, he's got the scar.
Kishibe, is that his name?
Kishibe.
Yes, Kishibe. I'm gonna put a prediction out there right now. Who is gonna play him? Because I don't think any of the voice actors have been named yet. I think that Kishibe is going to be voiced by Kinjiro Suda in the Japanese version. That's my guess as to who's going to voice Kishibe.
That's the guy who voices Overhaul?
Yeah, he plays Overhaul. He plays House Husband. I mean, he's just like everyone. Joker in Fire Force, Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen, Tatsu in House Husband. Who else did he play? Leroro in Tower of God, which we watched. Atomic Samurai and One Punch Man. Overall, in My Hero. He's just been in so much anime, dude. But he always plays like that sort of like slacker, older mentor type.
Yeah.
And I think he's just gonna nail. Like I know he's not been cast yet, but if Kenjiro Suda gets cast as him, it would not even surprise me.
Yeah.
Like just in 2021 alone, he has already been a voice in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14. He's had 14 recurring roles in anime just in 2021 alone.
Wow.
And I'm like, this dude is working constantly.
So
I'm
he's
like,
he's in Chainsaw Man. He's got to be.
He's eaten.
I mean, I'm trying to think. What other Mappa? Well, he was Nanami in Jujutsu Kaisen, so he's already worked with Mappa before.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if he's been in any other Mappa productions really quick. So, let's just back it up a little. Okay, so he was in Attack on Titan. He played, well, before Mappa took over, though. He was in the Whip version. I don't know if he was in. He was Hannes. I'm like, what else has he played?
Still, Nanami is recent.
Yeah, I don't think he played in God of High School, surprisingly. Because I feel like that. Oh, no, he was. He was in God of High School. He played Jeagle Tyke? Who's that? Guinea?
It's the main bad guy.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, even though we watched it all.
Wait, he's Seto Kaiba.
Oh, yeah, he's the original voice of Kaiba in the Japanese version. Kenjiro Suda has got to have one of the most iconic Japanese voices. It's like the moment I hear him, I immediately know it's him. Like, I'm like, yep, there he is again. And he pops up all the time. He's in so much
you think he's going to voice Kishibe?
That's my guess. That's just my guess. I think he's got a great voice for it, and I think he'd nail it. I mean, he killed it as Nanami in the Japanese Jujutsu Kaisen, and I feel like they have kind of a similar demeanor. But I don't know. Just a guess. Just a little guess. Just a little guessy guess. I don't know. I'm curious how the voice cast falls, and if it'll be anyone we're used to, or if it's new people. But all right, boys. Any other anime news this week?
Those are the key ones.
That's the key ones. That's the key ones.
Yeah.
So, do we want to save Odd Taxi for the end?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do Odd Taxi last.
Okay, so the one show, just for our viewers, the one show that all three of us watched every episode of, no stop, no questions, is also the show that when we did our, what was it, spring? Oh, fuck, what season are we in? Spring? Was it spring?
Yeah.
Spring,
right.
Yeah.
When we did our spring 2021 anime first impressions, we told you guys, we said our favorite show is Odd Taxi. We were like, the best show we watched was Odd Taxi this season.
It is.
And no question, no stop, full on. That is the one show all three of us absolutely stuck with. We couldn't get enough of it. And it was an absolute joy beginning to end. So we're going to end the show out tonight by talking about Odd Taxi. So before we do that, we want to run through some of the shows that only a couple of us watched, just to give you a good broad perspective of what we all stuck up with. I would love for you two, because I dropped that shit real fast, to talk about 86, because I'm curious. Because you guys both finished it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so first of all, 86 is a 2-core. So we're actually going to get more.
Oh, is it
season or 2? I don't think it's summer.
Okay, so it's doing the Mushoku Tensei thing where it's like
correct. I think it's
where you
separate.
get a half and then they're gonna wait a little bit and get another half later. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
But the ending that we were given was meh. I don't know. I just kept watching it because I do like the Gundam shit, the war style,
Right.
I like that aspect, the shows or movies. Fury, I really like Fury. That's the tank movie. And it kind of scratches that itch, this show did. But I think there's more, and I think they hinted that there was more. I think that light at the end in Shin's Juggernaut may have been something, a hint about the future in the show. But overall, I mean, I liked it, I had a good time watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like from Oh, sorry, can you still going?
It wasn't great, but I liked it. I watched it every week, so.
Yeah, like from the first episode, you know, there was the big twist of, you know, oh, there's war happening, but it's all the machines are like automated. They're fighting it on our behalf, so we don't have to worry about anything. And then it's like, oh wait, there's actually humans in these machines fighting, and they're all dying. And I don't know, there was a lot of this show is very emotional, and it's very heavy with it follows that basic premise that war is bad, and all these people are dying. That the 86 is what they call them, and it's basically like not like basically these people aren't, they're like a different race, or not a different race. Yeah, they're like a different race.
They're like from a different country.
Yeah, like a different district, like specifically District 86, and they're basically kind of slaves. Are all put in these machines because the ultimate goal is for them to just die, to just kill them off. They're given these missions that are basically suicide missions, and in the end, all the people that we meet throughout this first core all die. Mm-hmm. Everyone dies, and so yeah, I mean, there's very dramatic, but like I didn't really like feel that. I didn't really like feel anything emotional. Like I didn't really get an emotional attachment to any of the characters, probably because they died too quickly for me to form one with them. But there were a lot of moments where it's like you can tell that the direction that they're going to try to be as sentimental as possible for you to form a connection. Yeah. But like it didn't really like jive with me. So
interesting.
So I mean, the animation was good. Honestly, the CGI of the mechs fighting was like pretty cool. Like, was really well done.
One of the times where CGI can work, right? When it's like a mech, and not human.
Correct.
Right, and that's honestly, I think that's like the only time that they used CGI was for those moments, and it all looked really good.
Yeah.
So the main handler girl was like kind of annoying, but
yeah.
I'm assuming next season it's going to be like a whole new group of 86.
It's got with her, or something sneaky happened at the end, and you know Shin's he's going to actually be one of the robots now, but he's like a good robot or some shit. I could see that.
Yeah, that's another thing too. There's like still like a lot of mystery because like apparently when these machines kill 86, they like take their like last memories, like their soul basically, and then
they take their brain.
Brain.
So it's like
brain.
If I remember correctly, it was the machines have a battery die date, a date whenever the machines will no longer continue to work. They were created a long time ago. But the issue is that the machines have learned that they have a battery off date, and are now taking brains and brain matter to from still living humans whenever they beat them or still living 86 whenever they beat them on the battlefield, and are using that as new energy to renew the life of their batteries.
Right.
And so as the war continues, the longer and longer and more effective the machines continue to get.
Yeah. So there's like some mystery behind like the origin of the machines and stuff. I hope in the next core that they dive deeper into, because I'm interested in that.
Well, it's one thing I know. It's a long running light novel series that I don't think is over.
Yeah, that's why
I think there's a lot of story to adapt still.
Yeah,
I got a sneaking suspicion that we haven't seen the last of Shin. If as a human or as a robot, I don't know. I don't actually know.
Yeah. It looks like there was a lot of 86 story out there, so there's a lot to go, and I think the author's still writing more side stories, more stuff. So,
yeah, and the universe is interesting. So I'm going to keep watching when the second core drops, whenever it does. I don't think that's
something I thought might be funny to do. Oh my god, I'm yawning again. God damn, it's too early. Something I thought might be funny to do.
Yes.
During our wrap up, is to just see what some of the people on my anime list have already said about some of these shows.
Okay, wait.
I found some selective stuff here for you guys while you guys were talking. So the first when you go to reviews on my anime list for 86, the first review says this. It says, "The word masterpiece gets thrown around so much these days, it's nearly lost its meaning. The literal meaning being the defining work of an individual's career. I'm here to tell you now, 8686 is a masterpiece in the truest sense of the word. It is one of the best stories in the modern history of the medium. 86 depicts the brutal nature of war, racism, and oppression in such a way that you can't help but to be absorbed into the story, characters, and fall in love with this series.
Okay, that's cap. Fisherman Island depicts all of that so much better.
Yo, that's so cap, bro. That's so cap, bro.
This person deadass gave it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. They went 10 out of 10. So if you scroll down a little bit, just for some contrast for all of our listeners, if you just scroll down 2 reviews lower, someone gave the series a 2 out of 10, and they said, 86 is about war, discrimination, and most important, the human being. These 3 are the pillars in the anime, pillars that most viewers have had contact with before, whether through books or other audiovisual works, or mainly history. And we're going to jump down a little bit. And they said, 86 is an example of how a story should not be guided. From characters who just fill the screen, to totally artificial relations between Lena and everyone else in the anime, to the misuse of racial discrimination in literally every way possible. Unlike other stories of history itself, 86 leaves a stupid legacy, being just another work to try to generate some moral debate. A war anime in which the author himself does not know the reason for what happens in this world. A shame and complete disregard for the racial discrimination experienced by countless people. That is how just
also Lena's
deluded.
Yeah. Also, she's a white savior. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
She's a to a T white savior. Like, come on.
That's her whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's trash, dude. That's trash. I didn't watch it. I was not interested after. I thought the first episode was lame.
This is something
you guys got something out of it, though.
2 things. This is something that I hated about the show. In the opening, the people that have died appear at the end of the opening in a white. If they die in that episode, they're already there.
Yep.
So, one, that makes me think that Shit and them are not dead yet because they were not in the ending song in the picture of the opening.
Right.
Oh.
And then 2, why the fuck? That's a mad fucking spoiler to get right at the top of the episode.
It should be like from the end of the last episode.
Correct.
But yeah,
That's
I got that too, and I was like, wait, why is it doing this?
Yep.
So yeah, it was a cool touch, but like they messed up the ordering there. So
well, boys, if you had to rank the first season of 86 out of 10, what would the 2 of you give it?
I think I gave it a 5.
6, yeah.
I think on my Mal I gave it a 5.
It's okay. Like I said, I don't hate it. You know,
it's just
it's
it's handling certain themes was like could have been better.
Yeah. So, are we going to talk about maybe my favorite show of the season next?
Sure, let's do it, Kenny. What show?
Vampire Night. Welcome to the Double Vampire Night podcast.
You're a sick bastard.
About Vampire Night. Got you, boys. Gotcha. I said only one.
Walk around.
You bing bing too.
Bastard. Oh my god. I hate Vampire Night so much.
That was a good one, man.
It sucks that if the Uncensored Anime Podcast were to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we would have to watch all of it live. Oh my god, I hate that would happen to us if we were to end up with 1,000 subscribers.
So the next show we're going to talk about in this episode is Supercub, which was.
Sure. So David stuck with Supercub. Is it over, David, or no?
Yes, the last episode of the season. Let me be sure there's not anything more coming out.
Looks like 12 episodes. Did you watch 12 episodes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, David, tell us, what did you think of the 12 episodes of Supercub, based off of the light novel, also called Supercub?
So, this is going to be very short. This is just a simple slice of life of a girl who is timid, is to herself, and she gets a cub, and she gets friends. And she has a personality, but her personality grows along with her Supercub because she learns how to mod it. She learns how to mod it. She puts like windshields windshields on her cub. She increases the CC. She adds like a basket. She pimps out her ride, and she makes friends with other people who are also interested in Supercub. So it's just about, it was wholesome, cute, and a very light and nice watch. So if you're into slice of lives and you want something just very low key to watch, I enjoyed the entire first season, so I'd recommend.
Okay, so David, that's you. Any specifics about details of the show or anything?
I mean, there were some key moments. Like, for example, there was like a whole episode where her class went on a field trip, and she was left behind. She woke up that morning, she was sick, and then like an hour later, she was perfectly fine. So she was like, "Shit, I want to go." So she hops on her cub, and it's. It was like a 10 to 15 minute montage of her riding her cub, like, on the street. Like, no dialogue, just her riding. And I enjoyed it. I was attentive the entire time. I was just chilling.
You were chilling.
Literally, the entire episode was her just riding her cub. And then at the end, she's like, "I made it." And they were like, you shouldn't have done that, but you're here, so we'll only let it slide this one time. And then she looks at her friend, and she's like, "Hee hee." And then that was the episode.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's not much. There's not much to say. That was it's probably the most memorable episode for me. But yeah, not a lot to say.
Oh my god. Okay, so I've got some great Mal reviews to read.
Oh no! Come on!
Okay, yeah.
Come on!
I'm loving this.
Oh,
this is my new favorite. Okay, so I've been doing this off camera, by the way, a lot too. It's like I think of like what's my favorite anime, and I go look at the Mal reviews.
People give it a 10.
Whoever these human beings are that exist that are spending their time to write these reviews onto my anime list, it just blows my mind because these things are out of this world. Okay, so check this one out. This person gave it a 9 out of 10, and they said, "Jesus Christ, reading this is gonna make me sound like r/I am very smart. Esoteric ideologies on the jubilation of owning a Honda Supercub, embracing materialism and the consumer's worldview to derive happiness and escape our amalgamated depression, advocating tranquility through enthralling artistic direction, incorporating subtle visual prompts coupled with reserved use of melancholic classical works, affable characters and eloquent dialogue, depicts personal growth through sincere adversity, modest in theming, predominantly pastel palette landscapes are home to consistently detailed designs and graceful animation, particularly in the CGI, gleaming with artistic integrity and nuanced prose. Supercub stands at the forefront of modern Iyashikai. Thank you, Honda and Studio Kai, for sponsoring this short review."
It sounds like you opened the dictionary and just picked all the biggest words and just strained them in a sentence and just that was your sentence.
Oh my god!
Yo, what the dog doing? Like,
What's the dog doing?
Fucking overall. Fucking gave it a 9.
That person gave it a 9 out of 10, and that was their review.
Wow.
So here we go. This is a 3 out of 10 that I just found. Overall, this anime is one of the worst slice of life animes I've ever seen. To make sure I am clear, I have nothing against actual Super Cubs in real life. Honda really should have done better. Now at least I know where to find a real life CG Super Cub if I really want to drive one. A character whose name I forgot once said, "Please save me again with your Super Cub." Let me rephrase it. "Please save me from this Super Cub."
Like, why? There are so many 10s. I would never expect that this show would
The
get 10s.
dichotomy of reviews that occurs. It's just so funny to me. So, David, as a fan, someone who enjoyed the first season of Super Cub, where would you rank it on your scale of 1 to 10, my sir?
A 5.
Another 5.
Another 5. Well, 86 is like a 6. 86 is a 6.
Oh, okay. Because Kenny gave 86 a 6, but you said 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave 6, bro.
Yeah, 6. 86 is 6.
So
I would give Super Cub a 5.
But Super Cub's a solid 5. That's
Solid 5.
I feel like you enjoyed it, but it's still a 5. Okay.
I enjoyed it, but like...
Goodbye, Kenny. See you next time.
Kenny's out.
If you think that Kenny likes to disconnect, well, today's your lucky day. He just disconnected, and he's back now.
Bro.
Make sure you tag in the comments down below when we lost
Sometimes we
Kenny on
just hope
today's
it's
episode.
not gonna be. It's
Almost
not gonna happen.
an hour in this time. Almost an hour in. We'll see who
But no,
catches it this week.
But last thing I'll say about Supercub, I think if you don't already like slice of lives, if you come into this not really knowing what to expect, I think you're gonna hate it because you're gonna be super bored with what's happening. But if you come in expecting like a slice of life, a wholesome slice of life, and it's literally about a girl and her Honda Super Cub, then it makes it less as bad, I guess. I don't really know. But it's
right.
For me, it was enjoyable just because I love slice of lives. And I also love wholesome things. So, which is what this show embodies those two things pretty well, I'd say.
Wow.
But if you aren't into those, especially if you're not into slice of lives, then you're not gonna like this show, I feel. So
okay. So let's talk. So David, you did 86. You did Super Cub. What other shows did you guys watch by yourselves?
Nagatoro.
Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro.
Do we have to?
Ijinaide, Nagatoro.
Step on my nuts.
Gumbuddy Senpai.
Okay. Let's just gush about Nagatoro. One, I love the addition of the third girl, the third friend. I don't remember her name, but her style and what she was funny about was a good, foil sort of to Nagatoro and her other two friends.
Are you talking about Yoshi?
No, not Yoshi or Gamo. I think, is her name Yoshi?
No, Yoshi's the one who's always like, she always says one word and she points. She's like...
Which friend, Kitty? I'm looking at their names right now. It's Nagatoro, Tsunomiya, Yoshi, Maki, and Sakura. Gamo, Maki.
I think it was
Yoshi,
Sakura.
Sakura's the blonde-headed girl.
All of them are blonde-headed.
No, Gamo-chan. Maki Gamo.
No, yeah, okay, I like Sakura. Sakura was she was a good addition and very funny to the group. I liked Senpai, or I liked the president a lot. I thought that she was a funny character.
The president
that got a lot of straight man jokes. And obviously, I loved Nagatoro, and I loved that she finally said that they love each other. They just said they love each other. Okay.
No, she didn't say that.
He said that he made his paintings with love.
And what'd she say back?
She just got all red, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, wow. Oh my god.
But then at the end, she kissed him on the cheek, so, you know.
Yeah. He's in.
What do you guys have to say about details of the show? Animation already? I mean, you have any complaints about
What are you saying, bro? No, bro. Nagatoro was great. Okay, I'm ready to rate it, actually.
No, you're already right. Kenny said Sakura was great. Nagatoro was great. They love each other. 10 out of 10. No.
I've not said that yet.
I mean, animation was, like, pretty simple. There wasn't really, like, a whole lot of moments that needed, pretty amazing animation. But, I mean, everything seemed... Like, the art was fine. Everything seems fine. What? Who's making that noise?
That's me. I just found a great Mal review.
Oh, my God. For me... I liked how, like, the show started... Okay, episode 1, I think we can all agree that episode 1 was, like, pretty cringy. With, like...
Bringey.
How strong it came on with the bullying, Senpai's reaction to being bullied. It made me feel a little uncomfortable. But episodes 2 through the end, you see pretty quickly the relationship forming into an actual relationship or friendship. Yep. And then, by the end, they confess to each other that they, like each other a lot.
They really confess that, like, openly?
Not, like, verbatim,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
directly,
the show can't do that. Like, that's the one thing, or else the show has to end, because, like, the concept is, like, that she bullies him, right? Like, I don't know. I didn't watch enough.
That's how their relationship begins, but, like, the whole show isn't, like, she still, like, pokes fun at him, but it's not, it's, like, endearing. It's not like how it was in episode 1, where it was, like, he cried.
He cried.
All of like the toying around that she does with him is like more. It's like more specified. I feel because at this point they actually know each other, so it's like.
And they love each other.
It's just like high school friends, like kind of like like flirting,
goofing.
Poking fun at each other. So.
It's just that.
Yeah, so I liked it. I love the characters. I think my favorite thing in the show were the characters and just the relationship between Senpai and Nagatoro.
Yep.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's rate
it.
it.
Very wholesome.
Here's what I'll do before we rate it.
Although
Here's the deal.
the opening was pretty trash. I'm gonna say it.
I
was not a fan of the opener. I skipped it. I skipped it every time.
I liked it.
The ending song was cute. I always listen to it. But
finally, the adaptation of Oh Yes, Step on Me Harder manga is here. It's just like teasing Master Takagi-san, but much, much worse. This show is basically the dream anime of Spit on Me, My Queen crew who hangs out on 4chan or Reddit all day without showering for weeks. The plot of the show Nagatoro is she bullies Senpai, Naoto, just because she likes his reactions. She develops a love interest in him after some episodes, but she continues her sadistic jokes. However, I have no sympathy for Naoto because he simply enjoys this too. Why? Because he finally can hang out with a girl, even though this girl damages him mentally and physically. Some may defend this with, it's just a tool for comedy, mate. But I don't find watching the S&M relationship of two high school students enjoyable. And don't understand where the fun of it, where is the fun of it. The only scenes I liked were the ones where Nagatoro and Naoto had some normal interactions, but a number of these scenes are significantly low. I'm really sad that this studio had to waste their time on trash like this. Because the production values of Don't Toy With Me, This Nagatoro are actually good. Although the animation can be stiff on, the colors are beautiful and pleasant, the voice acting is good, use of sound is okay. The show basically takes It's a Prank Bro, like Takagi-san and Uzaki-chan, it makes it a more extreme thing, which kills all the enjoyment value that comes from the relationship of the main couple. 2 out of 10.
Okay, so if people are still looking at this show and it's like this is a BDSM show, like this
person watched every episode according to their review, and this is posted after the finale.
This person especially, like you're completely missing the plot because it's like the first 2 episodes, maybe 3 max. Like yes, there's some like the most intense bullying is what she does in the first episode. I can't remember what she does exactly, but like that's honestly that's like the only like that's not even real bullying. Like let's be honest. Like if you've actually been bullied, in real life, you look at that like that ain't shit. That's not bullying at all.
I love this. This next person, Naoto, our virgin loser protagonist.
Bro, I didn't even find his name, bro.
Oh my god.
Yo, these reviews are killing me, dude. Okay, let me see if I can find one that gave it a 10 out of 10 because I just am curious if anyone can give this show a 10 out of 10.
There's a lot of nines. A lot of nines,
but no one's willing to give.
Wait, there is a 10. There is a 10.
You found one? Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. I think it's the same one you're on, David. It says, all right, I agree. Nagatoro didn't have a very convincing start with the bullying and all, but let's just get one thing straight. This is an anime not to be taken seriously or personally. Also, this is a romance anime, so we all know where this is going. And Senpai really doesn't mind getting bullied, so we really don't need to make anything controversial out of it. He said, overall, I absolutely love this show. It may be slightly annoying to some, but entertaining for sure. This represents S-tier animation.
This person said the opener was a banger. No.
Opener is banger, and ending is nice and sweet.
No. This has S-tier type...
10 out of 10, baby.
S-tier type animation? No. Okay, the voice...
Eiji Renaide, Nagatoro-san, 10 out of 10.
The voice casting for this was really... Like, all the voice actors in the show did a really good job.
Well, it's Deku who plays Senpai, so
yeah,
that's
I mean, he did a good job.
Okay, David, Kenny, what would you guys rate Nagatoro-san?
10 out of 10.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
Loved it.
I don't know.
Kenny's got the simp army behind him. Hashtag simp army in the comments if you are on Kenny's simp army for Nagatoro-san, dude. Join the simp army.
I've seen like a 7.5 from me.
A 7.5?
Yeah.
I watched...
You know what? I'll run it up to an 8.
You sick, nasty bastard.
I'm locking it in. 8.
I watched one episode of this show. I hated it. Okay? These two goons told me to give it a second shot, so I watched 4 more episodes. I made it all the way to episode 5. And I still fucking hate the show. There was nothing redeeming about the show. It was
Honestly, I think this show, as the season went on, from episode 1 to episode 12, I think it got better with every episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too.
The fact that I didn't feel that way from 1 to 5, that I felt like it
You
just
got
stayed the
7
same.
more.
I know, but the fact that it didn't advance, I would never watch 7 more episodes of whatever this was. It was difficult to stomach. Every episode was. It was not like it didn't stay as like bully, like you guys said in the first episode, but it just was not interesting to me.
Is it because they were in high school?
No. I just think that here's what Nagatoro did in the first 5 episodes. Set up. Nagatoro bullies Senpai. Incident occurs. Nagatoro becomes embarrassed. That was the delivery of every single scene in the show. And I'm sure that the formula had to stray a little bit as the series went on. But for the most part, it was always setup, incident, Nagatoro gets embarrassed, resolution. And that was like exactly what happened every single episode. And that's just a little too formulaic for me. For a slice of life, I really like when there's still some sort of like overarching like movement. Like with Rent-A-Girlfriend, right? Rent-A-Girlfriend was a really great example of like a romance show that progressed as if there was like a forward moving story or like a plot that was driving us from each scene to scene. But this is more of like, it was like vignettes. Like the show wasn't really like a show. It was like small scenes where it was like, on this one, Nagatoro's going to put buns in her shirt and he's going to grab them. And oops, he accidentally grabbed her poopy. Now Nagatoro's embarrassed and Senpai is the one that isn't embarrassed. You know, it's like, you know, woo. That's what happened in the first 5 episodes, at least. But I guess you guys keep saying that there's a little bit of an overarching thing that happens near the end. But
yeah. Like the
I don't know.
last 3 episodes is like an actual arc. Like
and it's
arc.
like just with a formulaic type show like this, they're just not really my shiz. And I definitely am not as, I don't have as negative of an opinion after just watching the first episode, but I would not, I don't think I'll ever finish it. I don't really have any reason to.
Okay.
Womp womp. You guys are like, yep, you do you, Jerry.
Sucks for you.
Yeah. Listen, I'll keep it to myself. Okay.
You guys can enjoy your Nagatoro all alone. No, I'm just in your room at night. No, I'm just, okay, what other shows did you guys watch?
So there was a show that I watched accidentally.
Accidentally?
This wasn't one of the original 13.
Oh, yeah.
But this was one that debuted in spring.
Yep.
And last episode came out sometime last week. And the full name of this show is Full Dive. This ultimate next-gen full dive RPG is even shittier than real life. All
right, go ahead and just get your rating out, David. I don't even want to hear this, dude. Just tell me.
So real quick, since we didn't talk about this anime, it's an isekai, typical video game isekai.
You watched this whole show?
I watched all, I think it was 13 episodes, 13 or 12 episodes.
Damn, bro.
12 episodes, and I watched it all. So, real quick, typical video game isekai. This boy, he does track, but he pissed his pants while he was running in the track meet. So
he did not.
Okay, keep going.
He got super embarrassed, right?
Yep.
And so outside of school, he plays these full dive RPGs. Is basically like a VR. And
let me guess.
They sit in this chair and they play these VR games.
Let me guess though. He pisses in his pants?
Yes.
He continues to.
He pisses.
The show continues to have him.
A characteristic of this character is that he pisses in his pants.
He's a pants peer? That's one of his character traits.
They definitely reference him peeing his pants multiple times throughout the show.
Oh my god!
But
I'm in with Jerry. I don't want to hear it. Just give me.
But anyway, but the thing is, he plays this video game, and this game is like the hardest game ever. It was discontinued, and everything in this game is super realistic. So like all 5 senses are real, and as he's playing this game, everything that could go wrong goes wrong, and you just watch him play this game. And so it was like. It was entertaining. It's funny. There was times where I was laughing, and that's really about it. It's a little ecchi. I mean, it's typical isekai, so of course there's gonna be some etchiness in this. Yes, Jerry.
I'm struggling to find
some mal reviews.
I'm struggling to find a 10 out of 10.
Oh, you won't find one.
I don't know if it exists.
I doubt you will find a 10 out of 10.
Shit, I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. Is it going to sort by by star rating? I don't know. Let's see.
But yeah, I mean, I honestly don't even know why I watched it. I saw it and I started it, and I've kept up with it throughout the entire season. So, I would give it like a 4.5 out of 10. So someone said if anyone wants to waste about 2 to 3 hours, then go stand against a wall and stare at it for 2 to 3 hours. I promise you it will be more fun than this show. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Someone said to it, I just can't. I can't continue this story. It's meant to be comedic. All of its jokes just fall flat. I didn't laugh once. The characters are bland. The backstory is non-existent. The art looks wasted and lifeless. There's nothing special. Oh my god. The reviews for this show is got woof. You said a 4.5, David?
4.5, yeah.
So this is just barely worse than Supercub.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Supercub
like,
was almost
there were like a lot of like comedic parts that didn't land. There were some that did, and I was like, that was pretty funny. But more misses than hits. And I wouldn't recommend anyone to watch this show because it's not that good. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's according to the guy on Mal, you should stare at the wall for 3 hours instead. So,
okay.
That's some fucked up shit, dude.
Yeah.
What's the next show we're talking about?
Wait, David, is Spider done yet?
Oh, that did finish.
What episode is out of that? It looks like it's supposed to be 24 episodes.
24, and I didn't watch the last episode.
Then we can't talk about it.
I'll still talk about it.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, we already talked about it a little bit at the end of last season, but now the whole second core is out.
Yeah, so the second core of So I'm a Spider, So What finished, and honestly,
it got so much better.
No, the second core was worse.
Oh no.
So so first core was the better core because the majority of it was focused on the main character, the spider. And all of those scenes are like that story beat, or those story beats are to me more entertaining. The second core was all about the humans, and there was I kind of like I was kind of paying attention to the story, and I didn't really follow why there was like this. Well, never mind. I do know why there's this mega war. There was like an assassination that happened on a king, and so there's like warring kingdoms so there's a war going on. And all of the human fights is all CGI. And it's bad CGI. It's like Berserk CGI. And so it's... The majority of the story for the second core is all the humans. And I hate that storyline. I don't care about it at all. And that was the focus. And so, it was... I was disappointed. The music still slaps. Opening and ending songs still slap. And, not really a lot of memorable like music during the show, like not really a lot of memorable instrumentals, but
damn. So this went from being like a show that you were kind of digging in the first core to like kind of disappointing by the end of the second core.
Well, because I love the spider parts because there's like a lot more focus on like the leveling system, all the abilities. When the humans come out, like they still have abilities and stuff too, but I feel like a lot of the focus in the second core is all about like the drama of the kingdom and this war that's happening, and it just was like the animation's honestly dog shit for the humans. So
yeah, I mean it's animated by the same team that made Berserk 2016. So
well, that Berserk reference was very on point then. So
yeah, dude. Well, I won't go into any mal reviews. How would you rate Spider though, David? I mean, now that it's over, you haven't seen the last episode, but how would you rate it going into the last episode?
I mean, I like the first core a lot. The second core I didn't like. So if I had to
that's the trouble is like it's all one big season though. It's not separated into seasons.
If I only had one big season, Like a like a 4.
Okay, a 4. That's okay. A little bit worse than Full Dive.
So far, all of these have been like pretty bad anime.
You're getting progressively worse. Okay, David, do you have any other shows you finished this season, or was that it?
At this point, those are all the shows that I finished.
Other than Odd Taxi, which we're going to talk about together.
Yeah, but... I wanted to. I mean, we're not going to be able to talk about Vivi. Vivi was talked about like on the internet being a very good show.
Yeah, none of us watched it, unfortunately.
Yeah, the 300 years maxed out my level. I wanted to watch that as well, but I haven't finished that either.
Did you watch that?
I watched like half of it. I think I watched like 6 episodes.
You guys both watched it.
Yeah, I watched like half of it too, and then I accidentally dropped it.
Mm-hmm. Kenny, do you have some other shows you finished though?
Finished Burning Kabaddi.
Oh, tell us about Burning Kabaddi briefly.
Just sports anime, has some style.
Kind of underrated, I think. I don't think anyone was really talking about it.
I mean, that's basically it. It's not.
Wait, what sport is it?
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
It's a tag sport. The show doesn't.
You don't play Kabaddi, dude?
The show doesn't beat you over the head with the rules either. It progresses you in pretty easily. Especially because, like, the main character is an insert character, and he's learning the game as we are. He's a soccer player. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a sports anime. It's fun. It's got some style. Some of the way they do the struggle scenes are cool, like sort of like the versus screens from Street Fighter. So like, it's pretty cool.
Oh, this is originally a web manga?
Yeah, it's based off a web manga. I just saw that, David.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty interesting.
I enjoyed it.
I thought maybe it would be just based off of
the same
same
studio that animated Dr. Stone.
You finished it though, Kenny?
Yeah. Pretty good.
How would you rate it?
7 maybe? Solid middle, like pretty good sports anime.
Slightly above average, yeah.
Yep. I would rate obviously Haikyuu. I would rate Run with the Wind higher. But I would probably anime adaptation of Ice Shield might be below this.
Yeah, the anime version of Ice Shield is not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. What about Kuroko's?
I would say it's about Kuroko level. Maybe not quite.
Pretty similar. What about Yowamushi Pedal? Did you watch that one?
I liked Yowamushi Pedal. Not my favorite.
Also pretty below. Okay. Didn't you watch All Out, the rugby one?
Yep. I like that. I like that one a lot, actually. I would say that one's that's a pretty high tier one.
That's up in the Haikyuu tier. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool. So if you're into sports anime, go check it out. Burning Kabaddi seems like it was actually pretty well made.
It's like Diamond, Ace of the Diamond, and any I like Major Second a lot.
Right. There's lots of other sports, so that's great. Okay. Did you have any others, Kenny?
Other than Odd Taxi, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so that means we're rolling toward the end. So 2 more shows wait, David, you have something?
Do we want to talk about Tokyo Revengers?
There's 2 more shows we need to talk about. 2 more shows. One of them, but the problem with these 2 shows before we talk about Odd Taxi is neither of them are finished. So we're going to be super brief. We're not going to rate them, but we want to at least give some brief thoughts about them. The first is To Your Eternity, which is now up to episode 12 or 13 as of this recording. But the season is slated to be a 20-episode season, so a little bit longer than it's longer than 1 core, but shorter than 2 cores, which is kind of a weird number. You don't usually see that. I'm caught up on To Your Eternity. Kenny, just to give you a reference point for where we left off, I'm not sure what you remember from the manga, but Gugu was standing on a cliff in the last episode, and he told Rianne, he said, "Hey, I was the one who saved you when you were a kid, and it crushed my face." And she reached out to him, and all of a sudden the cliff shattered, and he started falling into the ocean below, and the episode ended. So we're moving towards some pretty interesting parts of To Your Eternity. So if you've read the manga, if you're staying up with the anime, To Your Eternity is a beautiful series. It's got a similar feeling to me like Fullmetal Alchemist had, where the pacing can shift from really slow character moments in one half to really strong, full-on fight sequences, which is something I didn't expect going into with episode 1. I did not think we were going to get fight sequences. I didn't think this was like as shonen as I thought it was, or as it ended up being. There's full-blown battle sequences in this series. It's got a battle shonen component, and it's definitely got a style to it that is, again, it's just so reminiscent to me of Full Metal in the way that it balances character development, world building, and then also grows into this sort of fight scenes or these battles with the knockers, which is what they're called, the knockers. Pretty cool concept, and I've really enjoyed what I've seen so far. I'm excited to finish out the first season, and I'm excited to hopefully review the first season here on the podcast later once the 20 episodes completes, because it's seriously one that I look forward to a lot each week. I do think I liked Odd Taxi and Tokyo Revengers a little bit better, but Cheer Eternity is definitely my third easily, and it's the one that I've really enjoyed keeping up with week to week because it just has it's got a nice weekly feeling to it as well, where I don't know how much fun it would be to marathon it, but as a weekly, I've really enjoyed watching it weekly, which is something that I sometimes shows are like that, where it's like I'd rather watch it weekly instead of binge it, and there's shows where like, oh, I want to binge this. So this one definitely has sort of that nice feeling week to week. Everyone should check it out if they haven't already. It's not your standard shonen. It's a little more dramatic. It's a little bit more about characters, but there is some nice action and battle sequences as well mixed in. And obviously, from the writer of A Silent Voice, you're going to have some more character-focused storylines. So, really cool concept as well. If you don't know the concept, it's sort of about this eternal being who is sort of growing up by interacting with different humans over the course of extended periods of time. So he's sort of learning about the world and things like that through his experiences with human beings. So pretty cool concepts there. I won't rate it because it's not over yet, but I'm excited to rate it when we do eventually watch it and review it here. So you guys both need to watch it if you haven't. I mean, you guys need to watch it. So
yeah, I think I still, I think I've only seen episode 1.
Damn it. And Kitty, I know you've read.
I've read farther than that, I think.
You're further than where we're at right now, right?
Correct.
But you don't remember. Do you remember where you made it? 60s, 70s, or something?
Yeah, like that range. It was at that point whenever I read it. So like I read to the latest chapter, and then I just have not gone back, and it's been a little while. So.
Dang. Okay. Well, you might want to. I mean, I'm having a blast with it, boys. But...
It's a monthly, and so like
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you don't see it often, and so I don't know. It's one of those things with monthlies, especially. Yeah.
Well, the thing that we should all talk about together,
yes,
is the first core of Tokyo Revengers, because holy shit, it's crazy, y'all.
I really enjoy it.
Have you watched everything up to this point, Jerry?
I'm caught up. Yeah.
I want to start this discussion by saying, get in the comments, guys. Tell me who your favorite Tomen member up to this point is, and then maybe if you have some in the future, just names are okay.
If you've read ahead in the manga.
Some of my favorite characters are still to come.
I love Draken.
I love Draken.
Draken's awesome.
Draken's my favorite.
And up to this point, you've met. Have you met Mikey's?
We haven't met anyone related to him.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think we've met anyone related to Mikey yet.
I know that character's coming.
Okay.
I know that we've met Teta Kisaki, but as you learn more about him, he becomes such an odd villain.
Is it the guy with the tattoos on his hands?
Yeah, he's the other guy. He's the other like.
The Sin and Punishment guy.
Yeah. In the first episode, Naoto says you need to break up Sano Manjiro, Mikey, and Teta Kisaki.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if Draken was dead, they would have formed their...
Correct.
Yeah, I got you. Crazy, dude. Okay, so as of the latest episode that has come out, they have adapted up through 33 chapters of mangas. They're moving at a really nice pace. 12 episodes, 33 chapters, about a 3-chapter an episode pace, pretty steadily. That means if this ends up going for... We're going right into the... Like, it's not stopping, so we're just continuing... no official episode count has come out. I've heard rumors that it's just going to be 2 cores, so 24 episodes, which would bring us close to about chapter 70 by the end of this. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if that rings any bells in your head, Kenny. I don't know. But we might end it at chapter 70, or it might just keep going. Nobody really knows what's going to happen right now. because I've also heard that the anime or the manga will almost certainly end within the year, is what a lot of people keep saying, that the manga is almost certainly coming to an end within the year.
It's a weekly. So, I'd say we probably have about 30, 35 chapters left. So
less than a year then.
Possibly, yeah. 52 weeks in a year, maybe early next year.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that if the anime lines it up right, then it would be there on time. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If every 12 episodes covers about, so every 3 months, if they cover about 30 chapters, that still leaves them about, I don't know.
You get to 240 chapters-ish.
15. That gives them, like, over a year of anime to adapt before they even catch up to the current manga at that pace. So if they could literally keep the pace right now, and the show could just stay on, and it could be on until, it reaches like 60 or 70 episodes, which would eventually adapt.
The end of the manga.
Okay, if there's two, it would essentially adapt the whole manga at about 70 episodes, which would be mid to late last year, especially if the manga ends early next year, or ends in about 30 chapters, then, bada bing, bada boom, they could adapt the whole thing. But I would not be mad if they do like a full season and then take a break. That wouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? Just so like if we get a full 24 and then they take a year off and they come back next year with another season, I'd be down. I mean,
Kenny,
I don't think anyone would be mad.
Kenny, do you know when the current arc? Because we just officially started the new arc in the anime. Do you know when this current arc finishes in the manga?
I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Dang, Kenny's like, I read it so fast.
You blazed through it.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like 3 arcs, kind of.
Tokyo Revengers, what makes it so great is the story and the voice work. That's really what is holding the series together in my mind. I don't actually love the animation of this show. I think it actually looks a little choppy. Some of the artwork even looks a little messy sometimes. And the music slaps. The opening is a... So I really love that.
Best opening of the season.
So far, it is the type of show that every week I'm excited to watch it. Even though the animation can be a little messy, every episode has kept me on the edge of my seat. And someone told me, that's just how the series was written. Like, everything ends with a cliffhanger. Like, there's never not a cliffhanger in this series.
No, I actually think that there are a couple times now at the completion of arcs where it has felt uncliffhangery. Like, if everything worked out how it was supposed to, that is an ending, right? It feels like that's a complete thought, if that makes sense.
Right.
There's a couple, and it's usually those are times whenever Takemichi is in the future.
Right.
Or
the present.
I know the present, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this episode, I know, ended with him in the present, and it was very much
it was
bad.
Cliffhanger.
Akun.
Takemichi.
You've already said this before.
Bro, fucking Akun, dude. I was not ready. Oh my god.
Yeah, it means guess what, Takemichi, everything barreled down the same path, even though you went back. So you have to try once again.
It's so interesting because like time travel stories are so weird to me. And it's not like Erased was the first time travel anime, I don't think. I'm sure there's other ones out there. It's hard to not compare the show to Erased out the gate. But at this point, it just isn't the same. Like, the only similarities they have is that there's time travel. That's literally like the only similarity.
These are two completely different shows.
Yeah, completely different series, completely different motivations. And I think that even without like the time travel aspect, this is still like an interesting like drama focused around like young kids involved in like gangs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing I've liked about the show is that even if you take out the time travel part, there's still like, this could have just been like, there's like an old shonen series called Roku and Dashi Blues. It's like really popular, kind of like a shonen action drama about like young kids involved in like gangs and shit. And this is the same. It's the same thing, but what they've created here is they've created the shonen that they introduced something new, and that's the time travel, right? They said, what if we played with that idea, with those themes, and we gave it this new twist? And that's what makes the show so fun. It just keeps adding, it keeps giving me value, and I'm excited to keep watching more. Definitely my second favorite show of the season. Barely beating out To Your Eternity so far. But we're not going to rate it yet. We can't rate this with just 13 episodes or 12 episodes out. we have to wait till the season is over or till it's all over before we can give a final rating. But we are all loving the series, and David and I are dreaming about them releasing physical manga in the US.
Oh, the manga covers look so good too.
Please give us physical manga,
So
please.
good.
Please,
Kodansha,
baby, please.
you have the licensing rights. Just do it. You're gonna make
Kodansha
so
has
much
it.
money.
They have it licensed and already translated. It's already out. They've made it. They already worked on this series. All they have to do is run them printing presses, baby. You know,
That's all they gotta
run
do.
them printing. Get this shit printed and get it out on the shelves because it is selling like hotcakes in Japan right now because of the success of this anime series.
And it's so good. I might just start reading it online. Might just start. Might
Yo
just
ho
start.
ho.
Might just start.
He took a bite of gum, baby. Yo ho ho. He took a bite of gum.
Shit.
Oh my goodness gracious.
No, I love Tokyo Revengers. I love some Tomen members to come. I love how deeply characterized the Tomen gang is throughout the manga.
Yeah, they really make very intentional actions. I mean, you know way more than I do about it right now,
Yep.
Kenny.
I think every character somewhat gets a pretty good amount of characterization, which is really good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
when you give them moments and like Akun to me has already become.
I love
There's
Akun.
so much wrong with Akun, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously not well. And watching him in the past and in the present, and just the way it's been placed against each other, and the fact that no matter what Takemichi has done, Akun's fate is inescapable. And you've seen it develop in the past, and you're like, no way Akun could become this version of himself. And then you see this new version of him, and the same shit is going on in his head. So something's fucked with this guy. And that's the part that I'm bought into. I'm like, okay, so what can he do to save Akun's well-being in the past,
Yeah.
so that in the future he can escape the manipulation that he has gone through by these people in Tomo. I mean, there's so much cool stuff at play there.
And has Takemichi already visited
Oh no.
Draken in the future? No.
No.
No, that does not happen. We have
I
not
think,
met.
I think that's next, Kenny.
The death of his girlfriend is one. So far, every domino now. There are so many people that he needs to save, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so as you meet more of your characters from the past and the future, I think that you feel him, sort of steeling himself for there's more than just, who he selfishly wanted to save. So, and Akun is, I think, he's the first domino.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the first Akun death. I mean, it hit for me. I was like, damn, that was cool.
Yeah.
Very just an interesting moment. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers, it's good. If you're not watching it, watch it. If you're not reading it, consider reading it. Unfortunately, the only legal option is to pay $10 a volume digitally. So yo ho ho.
Gum gum.
Let's talk about my favorite show of the season.
Mine too.
It's called Vampire Night, guys. This is the third Vampire
He
Night.
did it with a triple!
I'm quitting the podcast. I'm quitting.
I can't.
I'm retiring.
I can't.
I don't even know at this point. If you're still tagging in the comments, I feel sorry for you. I mean, if someone's able to get all 3 Vampire Night mentions in one comment down below, I feel like we owe them a prize at this point. They deserve something. They can timestamp all 3 Vampire Nights.
Vampire Night podcast, baby.
We'll give
Jesus Christ.
we'll think of something.
So here's the deal.
We love Dot Taxi.
Odd Taxi is so fucking good.
From episode 1, it was abundantly clear that we were in for one hell of a ride, boys. And we noted it on the fucking episode when we watched it. We all watched it. We sat down independently without even talking to each other. We threw Odd Taxi on that list of 13 just for the hell of it. I don't even think any of us had any idea what it was going to be. And I remember we all watched it independently. We sat down to talk about it, and all of us just unanimously were like, what the fuck? That was awesome. And
the style, the music, everything about it.
The characters, the conversations. The dialogue in this show is the best thing about it. I need to look up who wrote for this show because
and the mystery aspect. Each episode, the first 6 episodes, introduce a suspect to the murder. That a single murder occurs in this show, There are each episode introducing a couple more suspects all the way up until episode 6, whenever we meet Yano. And then the second half sort of unravels this sort of inciting incident between the whole things, and the discovery of the actual murder. And finally, in the last seconds of the show, it tells us who the murderer was, what exactly happened, and why it happened. And I think that's amazing for a mystery show.
And what absolutely pissed me off is I should have been able to guess who the murderer was.
Yeah.
But, there was more than enough clues. And I still,
there was
revealed. I was so pissed because I was like, fuck! I was like, he literally said that he drove the black cat. He said that. And then once they revealed, when they did the flashback with the other mystery kiss girl, and it was like, oh, they replaced the... Yep. I should have connected the dots.
And she was like, I called the taxi, and you're like...
I still thought, oh, the old, the one that got killed rode in Otakawa's taxi. I kept thinking
that's what I thought too.
I kept thinking it over and over again. And then when he looked at the pictures from the manager, I was like, I still, my brain was still not connecting that dot until that scene happened when she's on the fucking phone with her mom or whoever she was talking to. Yeah, the credits are rolling, and you just see her fucking choking the girl out. And I was like,
everything worked out,
I was like, what the fuck? No.
Now she's about to go kill Otakawa now. Or try to.
That was I didn't know how to process that last scene where she got in the taxi again.
Yeah.
Because Otakawa mentioned when he was in the bed that he was going to go see the police and tell them that he knew who he had dropped off that night.
I think that it was intentionally left open-ended so that either you can believe that the girl got away with it, right?
Right.
She kills Otakawa there and is never, and then becomes a super popular idol.
Right.
Or Otakawa had already informed the police. He put himself in a position where he was going to pick her up again because he knew for a fact
because he knows
she was the kid.
Yeah, he knows what she looks like because he picked her up.
He knows what she looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. He knew exactly. He knew who it was. I think that what was implied was that he didn't just know what she looked like. He realized that it was the other girl dancer in Mystery Kiss that had replaced Otakawa had connected the dots by the end.
Correct. Because he never had the dead girl. He had never driven the dead girl.
No, he never did. He never drove the one who got killed. That's 100%, which is crazy. Once the dot was, I was like, God damn it.
Yep.
It was like how this whole time we thought it was the other girl. Because we didn't even know that there was a replacement. That whole process hadn't been outlined to us. We also didn't ever know that the dead girl was the mystery kiss girl from the beginning. That reveal was like, oh my god! I was like, why did we not? Again, it's one of those details that
the whole mask thing.
I think if I rewatched it, I would have noticed more because the dialogue was leaving hints the whole time.
Yeah.
There was always little hints along. But I thought for sure Kenny's favorite scene had to have been. This is just a guess, Kenny, but when Yano finally stopped rhyming.
Yes.
He's like, Yano, your words.
No. She's like, no.
Rhyming. And he was like, think on this. And I was just
your words are not rhyming.
I loved Yano. I loved that the Yakuza boss had been introduced in an earlier episode. And he was more of a low key introduction because let's be honest, the antagonist of the season was Yano because he was the one that assuaded all of the mystery happened because of him, right?
I mean, Dobu is also Dobu's kind of an antagonist in his own right.
Sure.
Dobu and Yano are the primary antagonists in a weird, in a very weird way. Right. You know what I mean?
And they're only antagonists for the fact that they aided in the hiding of the murder, and had the murder been out in the first place, and the cam footage had been seen, people would have noticed that it was the other girl and already had gotten her, right?
Right.
I think it would have been clear. It would have set her in the same spot with a motive,
Yes, man. Yeah, all this could so much unfortunate, and then not just that, but learning that the mob. Okay, again, and the Yakuza boss, I thought that was him, from the beginning. But there was so much there was attempts with the dialogue to mislead us that maybe it wasn't him. In the end, it was the guy, the rhino that's been in the spa with him the whole time was the boss.
Right.
That was him.
Yeah.
And I was I thought that was him on episode 3. And then I was like kind of misled. I was like, wait, maybe there's another boss. Like Yano's working for someone else. And then I was like, no, maybe not. And then I was like, no, yeah, it is that guy.
Yeah, Dobu has the phone call with him. Like he has the conversation with him, with Kakihana next to him, and that's why the whole one rule is that we don't kill people, and so it's like.
Oh, that was so good.
The fact that Yano ended up tied up in
there,
and I think that the Napier man, and the connection
taper.
back, a taper. Sorry, my bad.
Taper, yeah.
The connection back from the limited edition eraser to help assuade the Zuden guy, because he just so happened to be friends with somebody that also is friends with the guy who is the eraser, to have the limited edition. But really, truly, it was because Dobu scammed the kid whenever he was young.
Dobu just fucking scammed him years ago, and Dobu had like completely forgotten, dude. Ran the kid for 100,000 yen and just moved on. That shit had me rolling. I was like, God damn. Dobu's just been a long. It's just crazy because like, there was one line that Otokawa delivered. He said something like, maybe Dobu's not that bad of a guy. And it sort of like led on to how like Dobu is a product of circumstance. Like he's not that bad of a guy, to be honest. He's got a bit of a twisted sense of justice and kind of takes things into his own hands. But he's a pretty like honest, forthright character, and that's what makes his character a bit tragic in the end. In that like he's as caught up in the systems that he's getting others caught up in. And I was like, oh damn, like that's like a bit hard to process, because Dobu's character, while Yano is like the exact opposite to me. Nothing seems to imply that he's like caught in this. Yano is just like evil to be evil kind of thing. Like he's just kind of got bad intentions, you know?
Right. Yano raps whenever he talks. He genuinely is unconcerned with other people and just wants to be rich and do whatever he wants.
Yes, Yano seems to have the bad intentions, while Dobu is more just caught up in circumstance, and that's what makes him so interesting. Because then you've got the Yakuza boss, who is calm, collected. He's good to the people around him. He doesn't mistreat anyone. His one rule is don't kill. And you learn that he's even funneling some of the money that he steals back into reform programs for orphans. And you realize that like when that moment hits, and the whole like the fact that the older Daimon brother was like helped by him and all this stuff, like,
and that's why he was helping out.
It's like there again. It becomes just like a really really open tragedy at that point, where like it's shielded by all these beautiful colors and cute animals, but in all reality, like it just pays close attention to the small cracks in our society and the small things that are slowly harming our fellow people. And Otokawa as a character just wants to help those that he's giving a ride to. He wants to give something back. He wants to give some back, but he doesn't know how, because he's socially awkward and anxious, and the only way he's able to deal with his anxiety is imagining everyone around him as fucking animals. But the goodness of a lot of other people help. I mean, Dr. Goriki and Shirakawa, like their goodness helps to both save Otokawa. I mean, literally save Otokawa at the very end. And I mean, their goodness also to help him overcome his mental health, like the issues that plague him mentally. And Dr. Goriki is such a great character. I mean, he's just so thoughtful in his approach, shutting down the office in order to guard Shirakawa at the one point because of the medicine. You know, going through all this trouble to help one patient that he eventually reveals it's because he likes Otokawa. He sees Otokawa as a friend. And that, oh my God, guys, I almost cried when he said that. I was like, Goriki, you motherfucker. Otokawa's your friend.
I love the little note that Shirakawa's leg is broken at the end. Whenever she busted him out of the car, she broke her leg.
Yeah, I saw that too. Kenny, we called it, by the way, on like episode 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Humans, bro.
Also, at the end,
y'all called it.
He would wake up and essentially they'd all be human beings. So that was pretty crazy.
And the cat in the closet, I think he genuinely thought it was a ghost.
Yeah, he thought.
I actually think that I think that I was like right-ish where I said that it was the ghost of the girl, but he did not know why there was a cat that resembled her.
Yes,
but it was just an actual cat.
An actual cat.
Yeah. He thought he was being haunted by a black cat, but it was just a literal black cat.
The end of this episode, I think, actually put a bow tie on every single mystery in the show. and I was very happy with that. I think that it fully explained everything it set out to from episode 1.
It needed to too, and I think that when you're watching a really good anime, there's always these key details I look for, right? Like, was it paced well? Did each episode feel like it progressed the plot enough? Did each episode have a good beginning, middle, and end? And then overall, did we get to the ending or the conclusion by the end? But also, you look at dialogue, you look at characterization, you look at execution of plot points. You look at were the mysteries good in a way that was there build up, but was there too much? Was it too easy to guess? Blah blah blah. Odd Taxi was the best at everything I always look for: dialogue, pacing, presentation, music. I mean, it's crazy because you just don't expect that out of a show where you're seeing anthropomorphic animals. Like, you don't, and even when it switches to humans at the final scene, it still has this sort of style that is just very vibrant. And you didn't expect a drama about mental illness and about, I mean, think about it, because there are 3 different characters here that are kind of protagonists in my mind, and that's the social media kid, the kid who wins the lottery, and Otakawa. They all serve as kind of primary protagonists for the story as they're trying to progress truth forward or justice in their own way. Little Daimon serves as sort of supporting cast for that. Goriki is supporting, and then
actually, and each of those protagonists are influenced by each of our antagonists. Where Imai is influenced by Yano, and what's the hippo's name?
I can never remember his name. That's the
he's influenced by Dobu, and then Otakawa is influenced by the Napier, the head Yakuza guy.
Yep. It's just so much at play with these sorts of positions, and it just, when you can write dialogue that sharp, where every line is something. Sometimes I'll be watching anime, and if I miss a line or two in the Japanese, it doesn't really matter. But if you miss a line or two in Odd Taxi, you could miss a whole, like, small explanation. Like, one of the lines that Kenny caught in the first episode didn't even, like, dawn on me. And that's when Goriki is sitting there, and he says, "Are we all still animals?" And Otakawa says, "Yes, you're a gorilla." And it's the most simple, quick exchange in episode 1. But if you don't catch that, you don't even question that you just think it's an animal world, right?
Yeah. Right.
Until the very end, you'd be really thrown off. But Kenny caught that, he brought it up, and then I went back and rewatched it. I was like, holy shit, that line did happen. What was but it was phrased so uniquely that in context, you'd have to be looking for it to try to find out what was being said there. God, this show was so good. I just loved it. Even the ending felt satisfying. And sometimes endings don't feel satisfying. The ending felt satisfying. I liked that it was a little open-ended. I liked that there was a little bit of like the true antagonist, which we really didn't understand at all.
No, right, the mystery killer. I mean, I think that the name of the band was Mystery Kiss.
Oh, Kenny,
which is 2 letters off for mystery killer.
You sick bastard! I didn't even think about that.
And I think that that's a mystery show should have a true killer, and it should not be somebody obvious. I think that there were people that were set there to be sort of distracting, like Yano and Dobu, who very well could have been the ones who committed the murder.
Right. Dobu could have easily just have been the killer, and we would have been like, oh, duh.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, Dobu killed it. But I think that the mystery killer, and I think that the deep-seated motive, and I think that this is one of the best things that they did, is that they gave us the motive through another character. The other Mystery Kiss girl, the half episode where she explained why she wanted to kill her, made sense for another girl to have that motive, to want to be in the band itself.
God, yeah, dude.
It went through a whole half episode explanation of the killer's motives through another character.
So freaking
which
good.
Was wonderful. It was just perfect.
So freaking good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I have to say about it. It's just this show.
10 out of
10. 10 out of 10. This show is.
I'm ready to rate it though.
It's wonderful, and if you're an anime fan, or even just a fan of cartoons, or honestly a fan of a good drama or mystery or something well written, give Odd Taxi a chance. It might not be easy for everyone, just because like it's not really like an action show. I don't know how to like
Right. It's a mystery. It's a mystery show.
Yeah, normies might have trouble with it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't let it deter you. Give it a shot. Give it a couple episodes, and really dig into it and try to focus on the dialogue, because that's really what makes the show so strong, is the characters and the dialogue that are backing it. So
Yep.
it's it's hard to talk about the art or the animation of this show because it was simple on purpose, but it looked good. It never didn't look good, if that makes any sense. It always looked clean. I think that's another cool part of this show.
I feel like the landscapes and the cityscapes were always like very beautiful, like,
Very
especially
cool.
in the end,
Episode
like
4,
walking around like the park and stuff. It's
Right.
like the scenery looked really nice.
I do think the funniest was when he was jumping off the bridge, and
He went
for a
up.
second he's like in the air, and there's like, and he like goes up.
It was
the
like
moon.
ET style.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
And honestly, that moment is like the moment where like, here's all of these people could be your killer. Which one is it? I love that they did that. They basically reintroduced and replaced every single character, and they went over their motive in that moment.
Yeah.
They said, and the girl, the true killer was like, I will do anything to become an idol and accomplish my dreams.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
it went over every character's motive while he was flying through the air.
I was gonna say episode 4 is probably one of my favorite episodes of the series, which is it's the full episode focused on the history of the Skull Mask boy, and how he ends up hating Otokawa. And I just think as like a standalone episode, that episode is just it's just so good.
It's just
dude.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. It could almost be presented as like a short film, and it would almost be awesome to just watch like that episode alone, just because like it has its own beginning, middle, end,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just loved it so much because it's so modern, right? Like the fact that he's addicted to like a phone game and like the outcome of it, to the point where he's like willing to kill someone because they stole that from him. Like that shit just blows my mind, dude. So cool. Yeah, let's rate it.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I'm going
11. Kitty said 11.
I'm going 11 out of 10. Boys, this show is in my top 10 anime of all time.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm saying it. I'm saying this is now, I think, the 4th show I've said in my top 10 list. Odd Taxi is one of my top 10 favorite anime of all time.
Oh my
Period.
god. Oh my god.
And for those of you that are listening, if you ever want to like look at our ratings, because you're just curious, we do have an official My Anime List account where we are submitting our rankings on.
And maybe
we have
we're
that,
gonna have
David?
maybe we're gonna have a special. Maybe we're gonna have a special episode coming up soon where we, put in some data.
Oh, I've already done all that.
David, you've been making a one for us or one for you?
For us, I have my own personal one, but I have one for the podcast with all of our podcast rankings. And you know what it says for Odd Taxi? Number 10.
You went through and rewatched all of our episodes and put the rankings on there?
David,
You're
bro.
crazy.
What's going on?
Bro, he's crazy, bro. Okay, I've got to read some Mal. Reviews.
Yeah,
Okay.
read us some reviews, and then I kind of have to go to the bathroom.
Oh no, Kenny. Oh no.
Oh.
We're gonna wrap this episode up then.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Odd Taxi is built through small pieces culminating in this crescendo full of twists and turns, characterization, ideology, belief, and most importantly, gotcha games. It is the Bacano of furries. Odd Taxi is a genuinely good anime, and I would recommend it to anyone. That's someone who gave it a 10 out of 10. This is a high and tall order PSA. Aside that this will be a very heavily non-spoilery blah blah blah. The rewarding payoff is much better that way. This is a criminally underrated, underwatched, overlooked, hidden diamond gem of an intricately made, complex, and gobsmacking show you do not want to miss out on. It's the type of shit people are saying.
Wait.
I can't really find anyone below a 5.
I found a 3 one.
Oh, let me find the 3. How many did they watch the whole show?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if it says that they have.
It'll say like
Probably
right
not.
above their overall rating.
Oh, 5
It'll say how many-
5 of 13 episodes seen.
So they only watched 5.
They didn't even meet Yano. Didn't even meet Yano.
Oh my god, they're so dumb.
What
They
does
said
it
the
say?
story becomes a mess of weird plot points that are really poorly executed. That's why I created my own plot for it to make it entertaining to watch. Also, for some reason, there are normal animals and humans like animals. IDKY. Oh, they missed the fucking point, dude.
They missed it, yeah. We're gonna
Odd-Taxi
ignore that
is-
one.
Yeah.
He said in his plot, this is Dante's Inferno. The walrus is Satan and has trapped the other characters to suffer for eternity, and this is just the pocket dimension of the walrus.
Oh my god.
He said some of the worst written characters I've ever seen in anime. They have no personality outside of bullet points like I want to be Isaleb or I hate taxi drivers. I want to kill taxi driver. It's all just empty characters, no redeeming qualities.
Each of the characters
Were
are
they paying attention? Were they
Dude,
watching the show?
This dude has no idea what he's talking about.
each of the
That's
characters
amazing.
are so
That's
great.
such a-
What the heck?
That's such a beautifully out of touch review.
I love.
Oh my god. His avatar is a blue hat, and on the blue hat it just says, "Please be patient, I have autism." That's the avatar of the person who wrote this. And he gave
man.
and just like every other scrub, he gave a 10 out of 10 to Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro.
What
Okay, well, guys.
the last thing
that's-
with Odd Taxi, we have to give our what am I trying to say? We have to give congratulations to Kazuya Konemoto, the writer of this show. Want to give him some recognition. He wrote this show beautifully. So
and the voice actor for Yano.
Meteor.
Meteor, the rapper.
Yeah, Meteor the rapper.
He did a great job. Odakawa's voice actor knocked it out, y'all.
He did.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
One of the
all the
best-
voice acting, all the voice acting in the show was great.
Odakawa's in the final the final episode? His flashback is one of the most touching things I've ever watched. Like,
yes,
I wasn't ready for it to be what it was. Okay, Kitty has to go to the bathroom. Let's wrap this episode up. We have reviewed Odd Taxi. We have caught up on our seasonal shows. That is what's up. That is what you were waiting for. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode where we go over all of our new seasonal stuff and go over all of our news. What, David?
we should talk about the 13 episodes of anime that we're going to be talking about.
I'm going to very quickly read to you all. So here's the deal. Summer is starting. It is the summer anime season. Kenny is going to use the bathroom in his pants if I don't hurry.
He's going to shit his pants.
The summer anime season is upon us, and we have already selected, as of now, this may change slightly after this episode because some of these might get delayed too much, or some of these might end up not going to a streaming service. But as of right now, the 13 shows that we will be watching here on the Uncensored Anime Podcast, this is the first time we're announcing this anywhere. So if you're listening, you made it this far, you're going to know our 13 shows. We're also going to be putting it over our Instagram. We always put it on our Instagram at the Uncensored Anime Podcast on Instagram. We'll post what shows we're watching as well. But if you want to watch along with us this season, the 13 shows we are going to be watching are Girlfriend, available on Crunchyroll starting July 3rd. Remain, available on Funimation July 4th. Sunny Boy, available on Funimation July 16th, but the first episode's actually already out, I believe. Kageki Shoujo, which is to be announced which streaming service it will be on July 4th. Cheat Pharmacist Slow Life, making a drugstore in another world, also to be announced July 7th. Idaten Deities and the Peaceful Generation, Crunchyroll on July 23rd. We may cut that one just because of how late the show is airing. We will see. The Case Study of Vanitas on Funimation on July 3rd. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom on Funimation on July 4th. Battle in 5 Seconds After Meeting, not to be announced which streaming service on July 13th. Scarlet Nexus, which will be on Funimation starting on July 1st. Aquatope of White Sand, which will be on Crunchyroll starting on July 9th. Remake of Our Life to be announced streaming service July 3rd. And The Detective is Already Dead to be announced July 4th. That is our 13 new shows. Again, these may shift around. If some of those to be announced don't end up getting streaming sites, we will have to drop them. If some of them, or like if they get picked up by Netflix and they end up in Kenny's favorite place, Netflix jail, we'll have to drop
Please,
them.
God.
But we may even have to drop things like Eat That Din and Battle in 5 Seconds just because they air so late in July compared to the rest of the shows. So we may replace those a little bit. We'll make sure that our final list is up on Instagram at least a couple days before the episode airs where we review the shows so that you can watch them ahead of time and be prepared to watch that episode. So summer 2021 season is upon us. It is probably the worst season I've ever... I'm not excited really for this season, so we shall see. Right, boys?
Yeah.
Just a little quick thing. The voice actor for Odakawa also versus Taichi Yagami. He voices Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, and he voices Ken Kaneki.
What?
in Tokyo Ghoul.
The Japanese voice actor plays Tanjiro?
Yep. Tanjiro, Ken Kaneki, and Taichi Yagami.
That's some range right there.
You're kidding me.
That's some range,
Yep.
boy.
Takumi Albini as well.
He played Jocko on Dragon Ball Super?
Yep, bro. He's honestly.
That did not sound like Otokawa at all. The fact that it's Tanjiro is blowing my mind.
Think about young Otokawa, though.
Yeah.
Young Otokawa in this episode flashback sort of sounded like Tanjiro.
Dang, he was in Burning Kabaddi too this season, Kenny.
I love Burning Kabaddi, bro. Is he the?
Okay.
He's the captain.
He was a pink-haired guy. I totally missed the name of the character though. I just saw it as I was scrolling through his list. But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. That is the wrap on our spring 2021 anime season. You all know the drill. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff because it helps support the podcast. This will also be available over on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, all those beautiful places where you can follow or rate us 5 stars so as to build some awareness about the podcast. If you're enjoying it, make sure you do all that stuff because it helps us out kind of in an intangible way, right? So thank you guys so much. This has been the Uncensored Anime. Thank you so much. Man, that was a big L. Thank you so much. This has been the Uncensored Anime Podcast, and we are saying peace.